Hi guys, so for today's busted out, I'm gonna try out some of this Chloe stuff. I don't know, it's from Crafter's Companion, the little designer Chloe. I don't expect any of this stuff is still available, but whatever else I might be using will be linked in the description box. Those are affiliate links, and that means I'll make a small commission if your purchase times those links. This stuff is super old, and you know, it's the kind of thing where like maybe it was a bundle, or maybe, I don't even know, to be honest. Like, this paper's fine. I'll keep this, of course. It's just shimmer mirror card. And then I have some paper pads that I've never used. It's just not my style. And it's not that it's not cute. It's just not my style. Like, this is pretty. But some of it, I mean, that is out there, but I do like that. I think this is the one that I do like. Did I already destash other ones? I was going to say, no, it might be this one. Where I was like gumballs and stuff like that. That's kind of odd. I don't know. I don't know if you noticed some of the patterns are the same, but they're different. Paper packs. I don't know. So I have that paper to go through, and then I have this whole thing, and I was like, you know, I might as well just get rid of this, because I hardly ever look in here. The reason it's in this pink one, the newer ones, cases that I picked up from Michael's, is because it was in an old case, and I transferred it to the pink case, and then kept the pink cases, right? So I just have a ton of stuff in here. Some of this stuff might even be duplicates. I don't know. Stamps. Oh, I thought these were the same, but they're slightly different as far as the way the hearts kind of gradiate out or whatever. Yeah, so we'll see. I don't know. I don't really know what's in here. What's all this? Oh, these aren't stamps that should be in here. They should be somewhere else. So we'll put those somewhere else. Put them right there for now. They'll probably fall off in just a minute. Oh, this one was really cute. I remember I had got this, but for some reason the one I got didn't have, one of the dies was missing or something weird, and it wasn't even open, so it was kind of odd. It was just probably fell off at the factory or whatever, at the factory at the warehouse, and then HSN replaced it or whatever at the time. I have like this little wreath here. Flowers. Oh, this one was always curious. I don't know. I think these go together, right? Summer blooms, element dice. Oh, interesting. Maybe we'll do something with this. I don't really know what I want to do. This cuts out, but I'm assuming these actually coordinate back to that if I wanted to do that. Didn't I just see this one? Yeah, right here. So this is a duplicate. We'll put that to the side. Alright, well, let me look through here and see what I have that might be something I want to use. So these are different, so that's good. Butterflies. Butterfly. Oh, look at that. A cut and emboss folder. That's a big boy. Oh, and this one has the dragonflies. Okay, so, you know, some of this stuff is pretty good. I'm assuming these go together somehow. Butterfly trails. Yep, butterfly trails. So I guess maybe this is similar as the other one, where you can match up stuff, and then these should match up with those. Well, that's good. Okay, let me think about what I want to do, and then we'll just try something out. I don't know. Finally open one of these. Oh, look, information for the Cuttlebug. This is an original Cuttlebug, and I actually sold it, and it broke my heart, because I was like, oh, I didn't want to sell it, but I kept the revamped one that's also green, and then I have the Anna Griffin one, but that's funny. Okay, let me think about what I want to do, and I'll be right back. So, I think I'm going to use that one. I don't know if I said that in the first part, but my kids woke up and started doing other things, so. I did bring this out, but I don't think I'm going to be able to use it, the embossing folder, because I'm going to make a card with the inlay, this inlay, and I just don't see what this would do for this project, so I'm not going to do that. So we're going to put that aside. Maybe I'll use one of the sentiments here. I don't know. And I don't really want to cut into the paper packs, because a lot of times when I destash things, I rather destash it, you know, sell it if it's complete, instead of cutting into one of the pieces of paper just for this video, you know. So we probably won't need it anyway, so I'm going to put those to the side. Now, we have these extra bits that we can put on top, and this one cuts an interesting flower, because it's the whole edge, and then in the center it cuts this way, but then that middle part of it is still there, because you see it doesn't cut it away. So kind of odd, but these guys will all, if you stamp with this, I meant to say this is the one I was going to put to the side, you can then cut these guys out. So we'll probably play with that. But for right now, I'm interested in this die, and let's check it out. So I'm going to cut this from the top. A lot of times I end up keeping things in their packaging just like this, especially the Crafter's Companion stuff, but this really doesn't have any examples, so it's not really anything I think I need to keep. A lot of times I keep it because, like, oh, it has an image there or something that, you know, will let you know what you can do with it. Oh, what I want to do with this is measure. I grabbed some papers I thought would be cute to bring it more contemporary, to make like a mini slimline. So that's what I want to do. But I also wasn't sure how tall this is, so let's see. So if you're going to cut the edge, obviously that's going to be a little bit different. The edge cuts to 6 inches, which my mini slims are usually 3.5 by 6, so that's not going to work for me. But if I'm just going to pop this in the inside, the longest one is like 5 3/4, so that might work for me. And then how about the width? I didn't think about that either. Yeah, okay. So I'm only going to do this, and we're going to make it a panel. If you don't have 12 by 12 paper, because we're going to need that, or a big machine, then cut this into a panel, right? Just a piece of paper that does fit in your machine. What I'm going to do with this is 12 by 12 paper. I'm going to cut it at 3.5 inches. And then score it at 6 inches, right? So 3.5. Just make sure that's nice and straight as I can make it there. 3.5. Not too wide, that is very slim. And I'll put this paper somewhere else. Score it at 6 inches. We don't really have to score it yet, but it's nice to know where you're going to be placing your die. 6 inches. And I'm going to cut right into the card front. And this is what I was saying. If you don't want to do that, I mean, this paper's not even the thickest paper. It's, I think, close to my heart, something I just had. How cute. It doesn't matter which way we do this. Or even if, well, it's going to have to really be like right up and down because it's very close to the edges. I'm going to put a backing paper on this so it peeks out behind the flowers. So I'll probably use some of this shimmery paper that we have here. Why not? The mirror card. And that'll make it sturdier. But again, if you don't have paper this long, just make a panel and then add that panel to your card. Whatever size card you have, whatever you're doing. So I kind of want to see what's going on with this. I guess it doesn't matter. I'm trying to see if I should put this a certain way. Maybe like that. Maybe that's a better fit. Okay, so I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine. And that's as easy as it is to start with. I should probably not use this piece of tape. It's a little beat up and it'll impress itself on there. Okay, I'm going to run this through. And I can even run this through the marquee. It's just this little skinny piece of paper and I'll be right back. Where did that come from? I don't know. Let's pick this up and see what we got. So that should just cut in. I didn't use obviously any of the dies that cut left or right, but there you go. And if you want it, we can go ahead and score it now. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to line up the bottom 2 edges. Usually I put this against my scoreboard edge. But here we go. And just gently doing that. Okay. So, before I start moving things around and showing you how obviously these pieces can pop up, you can definitely stamp them. Like if I want to take these guys and give it a little more texture back there, or color or whatever, so maybe I'll do that. Because I think what I'm going to do on top of that is put some vellum. That'll be fun. So let's see about this. Hold on. I'm going to put a scrap of paper behind this, and if we're just gonna eyeball it, I mean that's one thing. I think I am gonna put this in a tool so I can restamp in the same spot just in case it doesn't work, and we really want to make sure that's on there. So let's butt that right up there, and let's tape this to here, and let's tape this to here, so hopefully we don't get a lot of movement. Is that pretty good? It looks good. It looks like it's symmetrical, so I don't think there's an issue with like having to be exactly a certain way. And I haven't really decided what colors I want to use, but let's just do something fun. So let me grab, I don't know, let's see, what do we have here? What do we have here? Panama Rose, sounds good. Let me see if I can get this out with, nope. Well, I think with these guys I put my whole hand and I flip it like this to get the one I want, and sometimes other ones come out. There it is. So let me put this one back. Oopsie. Ooh, that could have been dangerous. Okay. Again, these are just acrylic stamps, not photopolymer, nothing special. Okay, pretty close. I got a little bit on the edge, but that's alright. Okay, so that's that one. And I'm going to do the exact same thing with the smaller guy. I think these are both the same size, yeah. There's an even smaller one, but I think for here they're just using these sizes. I'll pay a little bit more attention to where I'm placing this. And I'll do the same thing for this one and the same thing for this one at the bottom. And then I think for the leaves we'll do something a little different. This girl likes a lot of sparkle, this designer Chloe, so I think what I'm going to do is try to put some sparkle on the leaves. We'll see how that works. But I'll do the same thing for this guy and I'll be right back. That is all that. I think that's all the stamping I'm going to do right now. I was like, they have leaves? They do have leaves, but they're bigger. They're not the leaves that go here. So, okay. Let's put this back. And I think for the sparkle, this will be interesting. We're going to try something out. I'm just going to paint on some glue. And let me grab some glitter. I'll do a couple things. Actually, we don't need this. And none of this. Keep that out just in case we need it in a minute. I'm going to leave this paper behind here because what I'm going to do is simply take this and you can either color the whole thing in. There's different ways. You can put it on a brush, you can put it on a spongy kind of thing, but I just want to have some control with this. So I'm going to just kind of come in here just with my little glue. And it's going to look a little bit messy because it depends on how you spread it out, you know, that the glitter is going to stick. I do want you to notice that the embossing does leave like a little line there, a little texture, which is nice. That's a little too much glue. Okay. And I'm going to do this for the whole thing, but right now I'm just showing you a portion. So what I'm going to do, I probably work on like the whole section at the top, you know, and then the next one, the next one. I'm just going to put some glitter on it. Kind of let it sit there for a minute. And shake that off. So that's it. Like this little one, I'll probably add a little more, do it again. Okay, so I'm going to go around and do that. And I'll be right back. Okay, I'm on the last little section. I was just going to pour it off, but I thought I'd check in with you guys. And there is, of course, we'll clean up whatever else is extra, but for now that's good. And I'll get this glitter back into the bottle just by funneling this in there. So now what I'm going to try to do, and we'll see, is take some of this vellum. This is the 100 GSM pure white vellum. I think Tonic has the one that's even thicker than that, but I'm just going to use that one. Sorry, I'm all tongue-tied. And I'm going to try to stamp with this hybrid ink again. I don't know how well this is going to take, so we will see. A lot of times the Crafters Companion, she'll recommend, or Sarah will recommend, die cutting first and then stamping things, which I think is different. But you can take that little die cut right to the stamp and kind of lay over. So for right now, I'm going to stamp it first. See what that looks like. Not bad. What I'm wondering is if I need to heat set it, because this Nuvo hybrid will stay wet a little bit. Let me grab the stiffest paper that I have. I might go ahead and heat set it. This may or may not work. Okay, I'm not guaranteeing anything, especially with vellum, but we'll see. And sometimes you can do it on the opposite side too, just so that when you go to cut it, nothing happens to your little... But see, it did stick to that. Because again, the hybrid ink stays wet a little bit longer, especially on vellum. So I'm going to heat set it and I'll be right back. Wow, that is really cute. And you know why? I don't know if it's this, the color is just so soft. It looks almost even like pearlescent. How cute is that? Okay, well I'm going to do two of the smaller, the size of the, like this one, right? This guy. And I'll be right back. Okay guys, so we have that. This, I guess I'll open this up since that's where the dies are for this. I know I bought these after I bought this house, and we've been in this house since October of 2018, so it was like right shortly thereafter, because I recall having received that, the wreath one that wasn't quite right. So anyway, we're going to look right through that and cut that out, and look right through this one, cut this one out. Obviously I have to do that twice for this one. When we go to cut things like this, and they're on our vellum, let me just trim this out. Don't put the tape on the vellum, because you don't want clearly that embossing to come off. I mean, it is basically plastic on vellum, so just keep it, and that's for foiling anything like that, right? You don't want to mess that up. And so I know I'm a little bit high up here. We'll bring this down. We're going to put this here, and again, it looks like it's the same symmetrical, the die. So we're just going to stick that down And when I actually stick this down, I'm going to stick it down like out here, like on the very edge, right? I don't want to pick off any of my prettiness. Let's get this guy. And I'll do the same thing with the little guys too. Don't want that to move, but we also don't want to remove our stuff. Like that's pretty good. Okay, I'll do the same thing for the other two, and I'll be right back. Funny enough, for the marquee, I didn't even tape these guys. I just pinched it really nice and tight, put it in there, and guided it through. So there we go. Okay, let me clean up just a little bit, and we'll start putting our card together and see what else we might want to add. We have our pieces here. We have this guy that we haven't really... I just want to shake off the rest of the glitter. Actually, I just saw this brush, which is so funny because I was like, oh, I need to remember that that's there. This guy. Brush off some of that excess that's just on the outside. And just get rid of some of the excess anyway because you don't want it all over the place whenever your recipient gets that. And let's just clean this off. And if I remember, I'll try to add this in the description box. It's a Nuvo Tonic Studios brush, but look at that big old fan. And it cleans everything up real well. Okay, so again, we have all these pieces that you can now pop up. Now I'll mess around with a little bit. You can shape them if you want a little bit. You just pop them up. So I'm going to take a moment to pop up all these guys because I'm going to back this up with a piece of paper, piece of that shimmer or shiny paper. So I'm going to take a moment to poke each one of these up, and then I'll look in here, and I don't know what color card I would like to pop back there. I love that Crafts Companion does this because you can still use these. They don't count this as part of the paper that's in the pack, so you have these little sheets, and actually it'd be a good way to use up some of this stuff, huh? I was gonna say I like the pink, but you know, with the green looks cute too, but maybe this pink, or maybe this lighter pink, let's see. No, it needs to be this darker pink so it really pops. Okay, so I'm going to cut this down. This was 3.5 by 6, so I'm going to cut this to like just under 3.5 and just under 6, like just the smallest amount, okay? And I'll be right back. Piece, and let me just make sure, again, I just underneath because I didn't want it to get in the, if it was the same size as this, and I'm possibly on the side, left and right, you might see it peek out or something, so I did it that way. And I'm going to simply take some glue and just go around this whole thing right to the edge, almost, right? Keeping in mind the size of the paper that we just brought in. And then just kind of getting in here a little bit right in the center, making sure this kind of holds down right in the center of the flower. That looks good. And then I'm going to bring this over and put it right in there. Pay attention as I'm bringing it up. Looks good. Okay, so I'm going to hold that down in the different spots, and I'll be right back. Sorry about the washout. I don't know what to do about that, guys, because if I make it any darker, it's just dark and all that. And then I'll just come back through with like a little pin, something to help me pick everything up. And then we have our flowers, the last piece here, and then some kind of sentiment. So let's have these little guys. Now, they can be exactly the same, they can be offset, you can do a whole other set. I mean, if you want to do like 3 layers, I was just going to simply do a couple layers, and I guess we should offset them a little bit, huh? That look better? It looks a little more full. And so I'm just going to add a little glue, pop this guy in here, a little bit offset, but it's whatever you like to do. And I'll do the same thing for these guys. And I'll be right back. That looks so pretty. I mean, it has a lot going on. Do you want to put something in the center? Again, and you know, vellum is a little delicate. You know, you're adding your embossing powders. It can flake off. If I pick at it really a lot, it'll come off. So I don't know if I put something on here that'd be good or bad, because it might just make it flake off later anyway. But we can try. I guess a little something else. Oh, you know what? I have these pretty guys from some hunky dory stuff that I picked up recently. Right? These little gems. Why not? Okay, let's try some of these guys. But do I want to? That's the other question. Do I really want to like cover up the center? I like the way it looks. That's, you know me, it's hard for me to go the next step if I decide, Ugh, that's tough. Let's see what that might look like. I'm not going to stick it down. I'm just going to place it and then we'll see what we think. Or I guess we're going to see what I think. I mean, that is pretty, isn't it? Okay, fine. Push that down. Alright. Let's go with this size, I think, for this guy. Oh, did I take the stickiness off? Have you ever done that where you push it off? I probably shouldn't use this. And then you push the stickiness off of it. You're like, oh no, we need that. I don't know if that's the one I was picking at, but either way, here it is. Okay, well, I'll do that and I'll add one more to the top one there, and I'll be right back. So it's kind of a simple card because the way we put everything behind, if you were making, let's say you made this panel and you put it on top of another card or whatever, I mean, that'd be really pretty, 5x7, whatever it is you want to do, but our card is kind of like this right now. And now I'm like, do I just want to stamp like a real simple with love, you know, just for you? It's hard for me to tell what this looks like unless I rip it off of here, but let me see what this might look like here, and I might just stamp it freehand, which is dangerous. But we can do it. We can do it. Let me see. We have that. We have this little guy. Oh my goodness. Okay, that means I have to hit it right there. Alright guys, let's grab some VersaFine. And if I mess it up, maybe we can put something else on top of it. It's fine. Ooh, it's a little scary, guys. Okay, make sure we don't have ink that's going to touch anything else. And let's just go for it right here. And so if I knew I was going to do this from the beginning, I would have just done it on when the card was flat. Boom. All right, we got it. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. Again, acrylic stamps, they're not bad, you guys. You know, that's how people keep, you know, prices low or whatever it is, hopefully, right? Unless they're still charging like photopolymer prices for acrylic, which is not good. They're okay. I love VersaFine. It really sticks to it. If you have a problem with your inks, I mean, I had a lot of comments the other day whenever I got the Crafter's Companion auto ship in for the banner sentiment or sentiment banner auto ship, and a lot of comments about different things I could do, and I was like, no, I already did all those things in the initial review. If you guys remember when it first came out, it was the Today Special, and I got mine really fast, so I was able to make my videos pretty quickly. And I've talked about, yes, if you're, you know, acrylic stamps aren't stamping well, you can start with StazOn ink. StazOn gets really grippy and it sticks on there, and then it helps the next ink stay on. It's better to use a pigment ink or like VersaFine, a hybrid ink. The worst inks on acrylic would be like dye-based inks like distress inks, like the Tim Holtz Distress, or anything that just says it's a water-based ink, right? Because it just wants to repel. I wasn't really having repelling problems the other day with that set. It was the stamp itself, something wasn't quite right. It just was not... The images were kind of, if you can see, it wasn't modeled or anything. It just wasn't doing it. You know, it's like there's areas where maybe they were higher up the way they were manufactured. I don't know. So it was just a problem. But you can also take like this, and I always mention a nail buffer, and I always say get your buffers like in the nail section of like Walmart because they're like $1, when if you try to buy a craft buffer, you know, they want $4 or $5, right? Because no, now it's a craft item. Just get the nail buffer, the ones that are like polar white or like this guy, and you would scrub over the top, and that makes it the surface a little more porous, and it'll hold on to your ink. I've never actually done that to a stamp set. If I did it with you guys, maybe once just to show you what that is, but all you're doing is just rubbing this over the top, the surface. I don't do that, but those are all things we've talked about 20 years ago. Like, if you have problems with acrylic stamps, I know I got a lot of comments like it's the first time I ever used stamps or something. I know I just didn't want to go into the whole rigmarole again in that video, right? But if you guys want to see the initial verse stamp sets, or any of those kind of verse stamp sets, or the sentiment banner with a Crafter's Companion, because they are acrylic and they are big. That's the problem. It's such a big surface, right? Acrylic like this, and you just boop, a little something. It's not the biggest deal. And you saw it came off. I mean, these are really old, and they came off the carrier just fine. So that's good. I mean, that's good for at this time that they were using this acrylic material. I think they need to switch out their acrylic material in these auto ships. It was really bad. But anyway, but thank you guys so much. And yeah, I know, I mean, I've been around the block, you guys. I've been doing this for like 20 some odd years, so I know all those kind of things. I wasn't trying all that stuff in that video because I'd already done it, and I didn't want to be like rehashing. I just wanted to use it and make a card. That's all I was trying to do at the time. So as you saw, I mean, this stamped really nicely. Of course, this is VersaFine. It takes a little while. If I want to put some heat embossing powder on there, we can do that, but I'm just going to leave it until it dries. Don't mess with it. And you know what? This is a really cute set, so I'm glad to have brought it out. The butterflies, I'm sure, are even more adorable, so I can do the same thing with the butterflies again. Put it on the edge of your card, cut the whole thing out. That's what those dies are for. And then we have all these different flower stamps that go with the stamps, or dies, excuse me, they go with the stamps. So I'm really happy to have this. I mean, this is fun. How cute would it be to just add some extra things back there? I mean, it's a lovely set. I just never used them, as you can see. So anyway, all right guys, thanks for watching. I'll have links as available for whatever might be available, and images coming up. And I had a lot of you guys ask me to redo the video on this once we figure out a better way to make the little hamper, the tonic hamper. And I don't know if you can see, this is not bad, guys. It's not bad. The thing is, this whole thing has to be pushed down because it has to click into these little spaces. So even though I cut that one side off, it fits nicely. So I don't think what I did was a problem. I just didn't push all the way down at the end of the video because it was still kind of doing its own thing. But once you push this in, as you can see, it's held on nice, and then you can still open it, and you can still actually open the basket. I did have a lot of comments on that one too, of people saying what the instructions said. No, I understand what the instructions said, but this is the thing. If this is glued shut and this is stuck down in here, even if it was up higher, you can't open it. And you can't even open it even right now. If I was to pop this open, this gets in the way. So that's why I put the Velcro. And that's why I cut the piece. It's just, it's odd. Or they said to leave one of these guys open, right, is what Tonic had said, meaning not glued. So that means the person you give it to has to know when they see it, they're like, your impetus is to open it from the top, right? They have to know to like, oh, let me undo this a couple times and then slip out the thing, and then it doesn't make sense, you know? So anyway, and on top of that, it's still stuck down because this would be stuck down here. It's just, it's odd. But I think we figured it out. I might do another video just real quick because people were curious, and I'll make it more streamlined, but it's basically the same thing I had mentioned. And also I used this double buckle, which also added some to that. If you're using the buckle that has the little circle that does the ribbon, you're going to have an easier time of this part being open, right? You don't have to do anything funky up here because your ribbon could just lay to the side and you can still open it. But anyway, all right, guys, keep an eye out for that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you at the next one. Bye now.